football. I guess a lot of people have retreated from that position. I think the fact that Usher's going to be at the Super Bowl 2024 in Las Vegas, I think that's great news. At least it won't be a boring show. I know, Miles, you got to be happy about that. You got the Super Bowl coming to your hometown and Usher sliding from his residency there, performing right into the halftime show. That's
Hmm.
pretty big.
That's gonna be exciting. I'm glad to. I like the direction the Super Bowl's been going with the halftime shows.
Well, it's pretty blackety black.
Yeah, he blacking it up for sure, for sure. From the hip hop one we had in L.A. Rihanna last year, she was pregnant, so we didn't get the performance we were wanting. But it was a great show with her. And now Usher, baby.
We know it's crazy. The Rihanna one, I didn't realize was the most watched Super Bowl halftime show ever,
Mm.
which surprises me. I mean, I love Rihanna, but she was with child, right? And you had, Janet Jackson has performed. You've had Prince. You've had,
Yeah,
J
Prince,
Lo and Shakira and yeah,
yeah, Beyonce,
Beyonce. Yeah, right.
The Weeknd, Bruno
I
Mars.
forgot about that. Yeah, but still, Rihanna got the crown on the Super Bowl.
I think I hope Usher can top it. I hope he can top it. I think he puts on a way better show than a lot of people think he does, and it's gonna be nice.
Evidently, because of people that go and fan out in Vegas to see Usher. I mean, it's like a who's who of celebrities. I've never seen him perform except for in studio one time on the radio with Stevie Wonder, but that was different because Stevie was, every guest we'd have, he would sing them under the table. But Usher was kind of holding his own. Kind of
I'm
holding his own.
I may not be in that Monday after the Super Bowl. I may be gone because I may have to. It's in Vegas. Come on, we've never had anything that big in Vegas before, so I got to go be a part of that.
No, you definitely do. I wish you could be on the show, Miles. I feel like when it comes to your hometown, you should have the mic in your hand some kind of way.
Right, we should be involved, but I'm gonna try to sneak in for sure.
But Usher's having a renaissance. I mean, everyone's fangirling him. He's in the middle of the news, messy and not so messy. He has a ninth album coming out. It's like someone said it on the internets. He never really fell off, but it's like he's blowing up all over again.
He just matured up. That's it. He never fell off at all though.
Yeah, well, matured up doesn't always work out really well for people's careers, but in this case, it seems to be working for him. So I'm happy for him and I'm happy for us. And is that Jay-Z's contribution to football, blackening up the halftime shows? It'd be nice if we could get some head coaches or owners or, get those cheerleaders paid. But if that's his contribution, that's a great start. I'll leave that right there. It's a great start. Other amazing news. It seems like the WGA, the Writers Guild, and the producers have reached an agreement. We will find out if it's approved by all of the Writers Guild committees and then ultimately by the members over the next couple of days. Today's Yom Kippur, so I don't, it's a big high holy holiday for Jewish people. I don't see, a lot of movement on this day, but I'm sure that we will in the next couple of days. The fact that they worked through the weekend, that they released a joint statement, that the negotiators are, still working, reviewing that latest offer. It's really great news. It could potentially be, of course, like you said, we gotta see the approval and the signing of that. But it sounds like that deal is pretty solid. I don't think they'd be going out all out in the press like this if it wasn't. The early reports are that the writers did pretty well and may have resolved some of the issues that the actors have been dealing with, hopefully in a way that creates like a trail for the trail of breadcrumbs for the SAG-AFTRA negotiators. That strike had been dragging on since May 2nd. Of course, it doesn't mean we go back to work right away because you got to get a deal for the actors. That deal has to be approved. But I think once we get solid, it's going to be busy. And when you think about California, such a huge economy, the entertainment business is technically 5% of our Los Angeles economy, but that's the direct entertainment industry. It's not including all of the companies and individuals that service the entertainment industry, from florists to caterers to bike messengers, or, what, everything like that. That economic engine, that 5%, has tentacles like an octopus that stretch into florists and costumers and all kinds of other jobs. It would be a 3-year film and TV contract. One of the key issues that appears to have been improved is the money that that writers will get from streaming. Because when we changed the business model from movie theaters and TV networks and cable outlets as the only producers to the Netflixes and Prime Videos of the world, then the question became, what piece of that pie do writers get? What piece of that money do actors get? And that's why I have said continuously, we're at a crossroads, because streaming is the future. Nobody can play dumb anymore and act like we don't know where entertainment is going. Everybody's moving towards streaming, even at the expense of their other businesses. So that is very, very important. And then, of course, the protections against AI, speaking about where we're going. And I feel like AI hired a publicist, because all of a sudden there's all these stories in the press about all the great things AI can do. And AI is, also really good for you, and it can really help us. And I'm not saying that's not true. I'm not a Luddite. I get that there are great uses for it. I don't know if it's the AI industry or the robots themselves that hired a publicist, but all of a sudden I've seen the story at least 4 times on different outlets on different weeks about how AI can detect fires, forest fires, before human eyeballs can, and how AI is saving thousands of acres. And all that may be true. Let's use it the way it's meant to be used. But to erase actors or utilize our genetic material, our essence, our writing styles, and just emulate them without pay, that is something that I'm glad the writers held firm on. Again, it has to go and be approved by all the committees. It would have to be approved by the writers, but so far looking like really good news. If those 11,000 plus WGA members say the same, and that is what experts are predicting, because the leadership of the Writers Guild and the rank and file writers have been very united throughout this process. Not quite as tight with the SAG-AFTRA situation, but pretty strong, because I think it was 98% of us that voted to go on strike. The only reason I say pretty strong is because some actors have questioned the strategy of allowing certain small independent productions that meet the terms of the SAG contract to go ahead and continue producing content. Some people feel that undermines the total solidarity of the actors' strike, but it seems to be pretty effective. I mean, to me, if I have even though I know some of those small small projects will end up on the big streamers, that's unavoidable. The fact that producers who are willing to meet the demands of the actors are being allowed to go forward, and that those producers are being rewarded, not only rewarded, but that they are modeling the fact that what we are asking for is actually not unrealistic and is quite doable even by a small independent producer, that I think it sends a strong signal, especially amid the inter-union solidarity that we've seen, where the Teamsters and others have really held strong in not crossing the writers and actors picket lines. And that spirit of organizing, the spirit of workers' rights and workers' justice, that's really sweeping the country, whether it be the United Auto Workers or the hotel, a union, Kaiser workers getting ready to go out on strike in October. I think all of that adds to the momentum, which provides for much better outcomes, swifter outcomes. I hope, I pray that I'm not speaking too soon, but certainly would be great to see fair, just deals in the entertainment space, and we can move forward now. Well, we'll get to that after news, traffic, and sports. The fact that our whole government may shut down at the end of the week. Let's go to Fixico, calling us from Los Angeles. Good morning, Fixico, the official historian of First Things First on KBLA Talk 1580.
Greetings, Madam President. Last week I mentioned that I joined our Author Study Club as a Seminole Maroon Buffalo Soldier presenter. However, since I'm also an alumnus of Inner City Cultural Center, I was assigned by them to attend Sandra Evers Manley's Black Hollywood Education and Resource Center's 25th Real, REEL, Men Film Festival at the Regal LA Live last Saturday. It was awesome, to say the least, and the personal highlight for me was to finally meet and get a photo with Michael Schultz, the famed director who directed Cooley High. I was studying with Glenn Turman at Inner City, and when he made Cooley High and he had to leave for a while, and our class was so excited, I appeared in a couple of blaxploitation films with Rudy Ray Moore, who I knew from the Chitlin
The
Circus.
Hidden History of Fixico. He's been in blaxploitation films.
Yeah, my purpose for studying acting was not to become a Hollywood star, and the training I got at Inner City has certainly helped me as a Seminole Maroon activist. I'm on a bit of voice rest, so I'm not going to talk much, but I promise to call back next week.
All right, get that ginger in, Fixico, the ginger, the honey, the hot tea, the throat coat, all that good stuff, licorice. Yeah, I'm like a walking herbalist. Well, not really. I'm not an official herbalist, but I've studied people like Dr. Goss and interviewed enough of them, from Dr. Rab to Dr. Sabi, experimented on myself to know what works. So good luck to you. I know you're also a singer. And great that you're supporting those black men on screen. It is, as always, the perfect time to call me, 800-920-1580, KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Ray Harris, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network.
As a mother, as a gun violence survivor, as a veteran, and as former law enforcement,
President Biden is establishing a first-of-its-kind Office of Gun Violence Prevention. The president says the office will centralize and coordinate efforts to reduce gun violence in America. The president noted firearms are the leading cause of death in the United States for children and teens. The new office will be overseen by Vice President Kamala Harris. The president says he'll continue to pressure Congress to pass gun reform measures, including a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
After every mass shooting, we hear a simple message. The same message heard all over the country. I've been to every mass shooting. Do something. Please do something.
And that's the latest. I'm Ray Harris on your home for 24/7 news, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles lets you choose from your fave 4, including a sausage or egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, or medium hot coffee. Limited time only during breakfast hours. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Chargers get their first win of the season. They win by 4 at Minnesota. A monster game for wide receiver Keenan Allen and quarterback Justin Herbert. 18 catches for 215 yards for Allen. He also threw a 49-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Mike Williams. Herbert was 40 of 47 for 405 yards and 3 TDs. The Rams are at Cincinnati tonight, 5:15 kickoff on ESPN. This could be an interesting week for USC coach Lincoln Riley. The Trojans play at Colorado Saturday morning. The previous 2 coaches who went up against Colorado coach Deion Sanders, Oregon's Dan Lanning, and Jade Norvell of Colorado State, both of them took time to do some trash talking aimed at Sanders. We'll keep tabs on Riley this week to see if he does the same thing. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Applications are now being accepted for the City of Los Angeles Emergency Renters Assistance Program. The program provides up to 6 months of rental arrears to low-income residential renters who are at risk of homelessness due to unpaid rent as a result of COVID-19 or other financial hardship. Applications will not be accepted after 6 p.m. on October 2nd, 2023. Go online 24/7 at housing.lacity.org or call 888-379-3150 from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and see if you qualify. Apply today.
You're ready to level up to your next home or your first home, but maybe you still have some questions. Come check out Rocket. We're ready to help. Start with a Rocket Mortgage home buying plan and get Rocket rewards along the way for cash toward closing. You got this, and Rocket's got you. Only with Rocket. Visit rocketbuyingplan.com to get started today.
Call 866-357-5727 for conditions and restrictions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states. NMLS Consumer Access. Number 3030.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
After a big dinner, my nighttime heartburn would keep me up. I'd be taking antacid after antacid all night long. But then I tried Prilosec OTC. Just 1 pill a day blocks my frequent heartburn for a full 24 hours, giving me one-and-done heartburn relief. Without heartburn keeping me up, I could have a restful night's sleep.
Prilosec OTC. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times, she said. I feel like I keep on saying that, talking about Usher, talking about pending deals for the Writers Guild of America, and hopefully soon to follow Screen Actors Guild, a SAG-AFTRA union. But we are staring a government shutdown right in the face. It doesn't look good in terms of people that we pay and elect to govern doing that. And by people, I mean Republicans. Because this is the Republicans. This is their whole shenanigan. I mean, to be fair, Democrats can help Kevin McCarthy pass a deal if he wants to play ball with them, but I don't think that he does because he doesn't want to lose his job, right? To be the Speaker of the House, which he's already had to go for 2 extreme measures, including being the little puppet boy of the so-called Freedom Caucus, the folks I like to call the coup caucus, the white supremacist caucus. And so, it doesn't look good. We're talking about a shutdown that would affect. Now, there are some things, I don't know, I hope I didn't say Social Security, because no, that's funded a year in advance, so that wouldn't shut down. But for example, if you work for the military, even military police, you would not get paid. The inspectors for food safety would immediately stop. Child care funding immediately stop. This would be as of September 30th, which is Saturday, which means by Monday morning, a week from today, millions of federal employees will stop getting paid. And some of them are going to have to go to work anyway. I don't know how you force someone to go to work if you don't pay them, but apparently certain jobs they can do that. National parks could likely close. Museums may close. Airports are going to be a nightmare because, you got to pay people to come to work. I'm hoping that, as this Mercury retrograde shadow period comes to an end, these MAGA folks will, lift the veil off their eyes. I know that the former president is hoping the whole thing shuts down because he thinks it will slow down the criminal cases against him. And I suppose it could. But imagine being so selfish and so void of any kind of moral compass that you would rather have millions of people not be able to feed their kids and keep the lights on than face the music for stuff you've actually done. That you would rather shut down national parks, shut down food safety inspectors, close down childcare because you don't want to face the music. And we're talking about all kinds of federal responses, i.e., if you think that the mess in Maui is cleaned up, you're not paying attention. It don't happen that fast. What happens to all those workers if they stop getting paid? Do they walk away and leave people without help? Or do they work without pay and face losing their own homes and not being able to feed their kids? Most Americans work paycheck to paycheck, so we can't judge. We can't judge because people live in expensive places, and the majority of Americans do work paycheck to paycheck. The Biden administration started getting those government agencies that would be impacted ready for a shutdown on Friday. That is not a good look. It means that the Biden administration doesn't see a plan B, and we likely will see the government just simply grind to a halt, which is insane. We pay you a salary, lawmakers. We gave you our votes to govern. And this is one of the ironies, and I guess we'll probably argue about it with my friend John Wood, the Republican who's coming in tomorrow. Tomorrow for a Talking Point Tuesday. And it's that, why do all these Republicans want to be lawmakers? Why do they run for office? Why do they get paychecks? Why do they try to get those jobs if they hate government so much? They want you to pay them to govern so that they can stop governing, stop others from doing their job, stop others from saving people from wildfires, and taking care of folks' kids so they can go to work and feed said kids. It never ceases to amaze me. And maybe it will give Trump, he who shall not be named, I just named him, Trump, a break from his 91 criminal charges. But will it make them go away? No, it will not. No, it will not. Even if you somehow weasel your way back into office, it will not. A guy from New York, his name is Jonathan Munafo, will serve almost 3 years in jail. Got another 3 years of probation. He pleaded guilty to 2 felony charges of assaulting, impeding, or resisting officers and civil disorder. This is linked to January 6th. Yet another January 6th attacker This is a guy who punched a cop. The guy that took the riot shield, he's a New Yorker named Jonathan Munafo. He's going to do 3 years and 3 years in probation. And I'm not an abolitionist, although I am a complete and total, radical reformation of all of these institutions. That said, I'm glad to see these January 6th attackers get the book thrown at them. But when are we going to get to the big guys? When are we going to get to well, I guess we're there now. But I'm talking about the actual convictions. The Trumps, the Giulianis of the world. It seems like we're a year or two ahead with the rank and file, while the big guys get to try to shut down the whole government to avoid accountability. It is the perfect time to call me. I'd love to hear your thoughts on whatever your points of pressure, points of interest are. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Yeah, we got to talk about Bob Melendez, the Democratic senator from New Jersey with his gold bullion and pants full of ill-gotten gains. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
What's up, party people? It's your favorite MC's favorite rapper, MC Light here. And we're celebrating 50 years of hip-hop, authentically powered by Cadillac. And we're going to take it way back to where it started. It was only fitting that hip-hop began with teenagers at a back-to-school jam in the rec room of a South Bronx apartment complex by an 18-year-old brother. By the way, I'm also sure he had a Cadillac parked outside. He noticed the energy on the dance floor when he switched between two turntables, extending the beats, repeating the breaks, and never losing the rhythms. And that was the birth of hip-hop. And from that moment, it took off.
For more on how Cadillac is celebrating hip-hop's 50th, visit Cadillac.com/audacity.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here for KBLA Talk 1580. We're live in Los Angeles at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. And I'm speaking to some of the attendees today to see why it was so important for them to be here.
Yeah, this is Lathan and Tyler. Main reason that's very important for me to be here is just to leave a legacy for my kids. Black wealth, generational wealth is what we need in our community, Oh, Chase, someone has to take the lead. They're showing, big business like Chase cares, and they're putting their money where their mouth is at. So it's good to see, big institution like Chase, giving a lifting hand, to the community, and you got to respect that. It makes me want to bank with Chase, and give them another look. If I go to another institution, I actually see what Chase is doing for the community.
That's right, Chase is doing their part to help advance Black wealth. For more money support, tune in every day from 12 to 2 to KBLA Talk 1580's Midday Money Chain, right here.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My check engine light's on?
That could hurt your gas mileage. The AutoZone free Fix Finder service can help find the fix for free.
Get in zone.
This whole report for free?
That's right, printed and on your phone for free.
Get in zone.
But what if the fix is too tough?
We'll recommend a local shop. Fix Finder, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
A lot of schools talk about training the cybersecurity workforce of the future, but do they really deliver? My Computer Career has been supplying the IT workforce with thousands of skilled, certified pros for 15 years. Train with the experts in support, networking, or cybersecurity, and start your career in months, not years. Upskill even faster. On campus or live online. Qualified students may get financial aid, including the GI Bill. My Computer Career. Accredited, acclaimed, effective. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
So a lot of people are now calling for Senator Bob Melendez to step down. It's not completely surprising. He is, this is his second time getting in trouble for alleged bribery, being funny with the money. But this time, the first time the feds lost, which is rare, they were not able to convict him. And he had pretty much the entire Democratic establishment backing him up. This time, though, Senator Bob Melendez is facing calls to step down from all over the place. We expect it from Republicans, but Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has weighed in, and others the calls for him to step down are growing louder and louder. We've already had a couple people saying, including Congressman Andy Kim of New Jersey, saying that they will challenge him for re-election. And this is after, like I said, gold bullion were found in his house, cash, $500,000 of cash stuffed in pockets and, just hidden all over the house. It's part of an ongoing investigation. The charges are quite stunning. He was helping, among others, an Egyptian businessman to corner the market on halal meat. And there are a few people saying he is innocent until proven guilty. But including some of the New Jersey Democrats in the House, this guy Josh Gottheimer and others. It's really tough for Senator Cory Booker because Bob Menendez is his boy. That's, his friend. And yet, I also think there's more to it than that. I mean, this looks really bad. It looks really bad. It's him and his wife, his relatively new wife. He married her in 2018. The governor of New Jersey wants him to resign. But I know there's got to be some hesitance because maybe it opens the door for a Republican, maybe it doesn't. I don't know his district well enough. I know New Jersey tends to be solidly blue, but there's another part to it, which is, the double standard between Republicans and Democrats. Nobody is calling, no, I shouldn't say nobody. By nobody, I mean no Republicans are calling for Clarence Thomas to step down. Even though he's admitted to some of the things that he's been charged with. Well, not charged as in indicted, but, accused of, I should say, i.e., being in bed with a bunch of billionaires who are basically owning his behind, even though he's a Supreme Court justice, even though they have matters in front of the court, even though he does not recuse himself, taking $500,000 vacations as gifts and then not reporting them, taking private plane rides, which is very, very expensive. I've never been on one, but I've read about it. Also, his mama's house, owned by this guy Harlan Crow, who collects Nazi memorabilia and is an ultra-conservative activist who's had business before the court. It seems like every day there's another revelation about the shady, unethical behavior of not just Clarence Thomas, Justice Alito too. These justices who have lifetime appointments to the highest court in the land. And yet, Republicans are good with it. They're good with, I know two wrongs don't make a right. Don't be all in my head. But they're fine with Trump being the nominee for the Republican Party with 91 criminal charges facing him actively right now, not to mention the civil cases, right? No problem. But they are quick to call for Melendez to step down because the majority, the advantage that Democrats have in the Senate is very slim. Losing a Melendez is not something we can just afford to do. Well, it's true that if he were to step down now, the New Jersey governor would get to appoint someone, and then we'd be in a position where you'd have an incumbent Democrat, somebody gives them a little advantage, kind of like what I've been saying in California. The governor should go ahead and appoint Barbara Lee so that we can have a black woman incumbent who has the advantage, that would be the spirit of the promise Newsom made, not the letter of the promise, which he's going to keep by putting in a placekeeper who's not even planning to run, someone who's probably not even eligible. So I would imagine that the immediate resignation would be the best thing, right? Not in the middle of an election, not at a time when it could be, more problematic for Democrats, but right away so that the governor could appoint someone. But it's the double standard for me. And I'm not saying we should turn into Republicans and become unethical people that are willing to flout the rules when it serves them and be hardline about the rules when it serves them. I'm not saying that. I'm actually saying that they should be more like us and be calling for Clarence Thomas to step down, admitting that Donald J. Trump does not qualify to serve as president of the United States after aiding and abetting and leading an attempted coup on our state capitol, that they won't. They will lie, cheat, and steal their way to power, whether it's in the Supreme Court or in the Senate. And so I'm not suggesting we become that, but I think we have to play a little bit more strategic and a little bit more hardball. Al Franken should still be in the Senate. Let us not forget that. I'm Dominique DePrima, and you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Ray Richardson, your sports connection here at KBLA Talk 1580. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough every Saturday night at 7 for Out of Bounds, the show that brings some flavor to the world of sports for 60 minutes. We take you beyond the scores and press conferences. We give you our point of view, the way black folks see what's going down. You can join the conversation and give us your analysis at 1-800-920-1580. Out of Bounds every Saturday night at 7 on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You like the style, though?
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars, working collectively to improve the position of the black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare black workers for employment in high-wage, career-track jobs. The Black Workers Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing around anti-discrimination, learn about union apprenticeship programs, or sign on to a trade registry, please visit www.lablackworkerscenter.org. That's lablackworkerscenter.org. Together, we can beat the black jobs crisis. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Hey,
Yes, indeed. Just saying good morning to the chat room. You can be in there, KBLA 1580 on the YouTubes, youtube.com. We stream all day during the week and love to see you in there. And I want to thank the folks inside the chat room. I notice you guys have been doing a better job of hitting the like button. We appreciate the love, the support, and if you haven't done so yet, please do that. Like and subscribe are both super helpful for us. So the predictable regular frenzy around immigration is reaching a fever pitch. There has been an increase in the number of people trying to cross into the United States as refugees. It's legal. It's what they're meant. It's the way the system, good, bad, or ugly, is set up. You have to come in, turn yourself in, and say you want to be a refugee. But this is, we've seen an increase, massive panic, Republicans making this, top of mind for the news cycle. Some cities saying they've reached the point of emergency. And I'm looking forward to talking with Attorney Nana Jomfi about this because she always gives me an interesting perspective on what that's going to be on Thursday, by the way, in the 8 o'clock hour. Immigration and white supremacy is what I call it. And what, putting things in perspective. My analysis, the fact that the Biden administration just gave work permits, or they didn't give them the work permits. They okayed a speeding up of work permits for 500,000 Venezuelans in New York. It's interesting. Let me put it that way. I know Tavs hates that word interesting because what does it mean? It means to me, why are you not giving the same protections to black refugee seekers, the Haitians, for example, Africans, for example? Meanwhile, the 45th president has made it plain that he will start deporting people in massive numbers. And for the black folks that think, good, now I don't have to compete with you. Number one, it's not what Jesus would do. It's not a humanitarian heart. But number two, he's talking about black folks too. He, in a recent statement said that it's not just people that live next door to us that are streaming into this country. He said it's people from all over Africa. That's the statement that he made, from all over Africa, bringing our country down. So, tracking that and being well-informed rather than just knee-jerk, because we are seeing an actual rise in crossings at the border, is going to be super important. Got a lot more stuff to talk about, but we'll put a pin in it and carry it forward on tomorrow. Listen, I'm so excited because it is a Black Marriage Monday. I'm learning so much. By the time I get back in a relationship, I'm going to be amazing. Thanks to Aize and Ayana Ma'at, blackloveandmarriage.com. We have a lot to talk about. If you got a problem or a challenge in your relationship, hey, now's the perfect time to get some help. 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DePrima, and you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Ray Harris, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network.
As a mother, as a gun violence survivor, as a veteran, and as former law enforcement,
President Biden is establishing a first-of-its-kind Office of Gun Violence Prevention. The president says the office will